Hey everyone, this week I'm doing a roundup of some recent pickups. Stay tuned. So I have had some pickups in the last few months. There was a sale on it was a sale on a couple websites, plus a couple recommendations from people in the comments that I picked up. So I figured I would just kind of do a collective roundup of them all. I think they're worth talking about, but I don't know if I want to do a full review on each of them. So first up is going to be Stellar Moments from Alexandria. This was a pickup after I did my video on Shams Hamidi. From the Armoff clone of Stellar Times from Louis Vuitton. And I said that it was nice, I could see what they're doing, but it wasn't as close as I'd hoped it would be. Someone recommended this one, so I went and picked it up. And this is remarkably similar. Like, this is a lot closer than the Armoff one, the Shams Hamidi. Misk Fleur, I think is the name of that fragrance. This is really, really close. Again, I did a side-by-side with this and the Real Deal. And like, there might be like a little bit of a tinge of something different. Maybe that thing that I was talking about before where they have some sort of captive molecule that they're paying for that no one else can get. Outside of that, this is extremely similar. I think I would say that this is to Stellar Times good enough to scratch the itch, for me at least, because it's like a $560 fragrance, so much money. On the other hand, this fragrance, as I mentioned before, I think is like one of the most powerful fragrances, not in terms of strength, but just in terms of its effect. I think that this is Stellar Times, that DNA, I think is one of the like most enticing, but not in any sort of like a romantic way. It's captivating, like the smell of it really grabs you, and it's this like clean orange flower, bright musk, sort of cozy sort of a thing, but also it just smells powerful. It's hard to describe what that means, but like I think I've mentioned before, I feel like I could smell this on like a powerful woman CEO, but I love it so much. Like, I just love smelling it. So I have actually really enjoyed this one from Alexandria Fragrances. I'm actually probably gonna check them out more. It's a nice little bottle. I got a little 30 ml bottle here. I'll throw a picture up on the screen, but the cap is nice and weighty, but the bottle itself is nice quality. It's got a good label, so the presentation on this is pretty nice. If you haven't checked it out, you're looking for some alternative to Stellar Times because it's just too expensive, Alexandria Fragrances Stellar Moments is pretty good. I hate the name, but I do love the fragrance. It does give me that oh man, kind of sweet, a little bit laundry, but man, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. So good. Okay, Stellar Moments from Alexandria. So I have a general rule when I'm at a rack store. If I see a Banana Republic that I don't own, I probably will pick it up. I've found that typically the Banana Republics, they all tend to be clones. I think there's a couple that I've found that I haven't found some sort of an alternative for, but like Tobacco and Tonka Bean I think is in that camp. But most of the other fragrances, they're either twists or kind of clearly trying to rip something off. And that's the case with today's, but when I saw it, I was like, I bet I know exactly what that's cloning. I was right, and it's great. And that is Neroli Woods from Banana Republic. This one, as you might be able to guess, is a clone of Neroli Portofino from Tom Ford. So if you've got the Maison Alhambra, the Neroli, the Porto Neroli, I think is what they call theirs, this is very, very similar. I would say this is different from the Tom Ford and different from the Porto Neroli in a kind of way that Banana Republic does, little twists on theirs. This up front is a little bit more green and maybe a little bit more soapy. I feel like the Porto Neroli and Neroli Portofino tend to be a little bit more sunscreeny and maybe a little bit more citrusy up top. You still get all of that with this, but there's this kind of green element that goes through it that's kind of just generic green leaves kind of a thing. I really like it a lot. It is a little bit redundant. If you've got another clone of Neroli Portofino, you probably don't need this. I kind of like it as like just a little bit of a twist, because I do wear that one a lot. That's like, this DNA is a great example of something where I've turned a major corner on, because the first time I smelled it, I'm like, it's soap. Why would anyone want to wear something that smells like that? And then over time, I'm just like, oh man, it smells so good. It just is, it's so nice to smell like that. This kind of sunscreeny, soapy, sort of fresh, vibrant, citrusy sort of thing. Especially in the spring and summertime, it's so hard to not love wearing this kind of thing. So, Neroli Woods, I picked this up. I think, oh, this one's a massive bottle. So this is like a 5 ml bottle, or no, not 5 ml, a 5 ounce bottle. But it was still only like 30 bucks. So if you go to rack stores, the Banana Republics are really cheap. But they usually have a pretty good job. I would actually give credit to the creative director, whoever that is, at Banana Republic, because I think they make good choices. They got this, that one that they cloned, 78 Vintage Green is a clone of that Hermes. There's a bunch of others too, but Neroli Woods, if you're looking for something for spring and summer still, you see this one, pick it up. The next one up I have is a little bit redundant to something I have else in my collection, but I have really enjoyed this one as well. That is Rochas Moustache Eau de Parfum. So this one is a clone of, I don't know if it's a clone. I think it's, I don't know if they call it a clone. I think it's hard not to. But I think this is meant to be, if I'm understanding correctly, I believe it's meant to be like Tuxedo from YSL. I have a clone called Kismet. Let me verify real quick. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I just looked it up, I'm correct. I don't know if it's a clone or if it's just very, very referential, but all three, Tuxedo, Kismet from Maison Alhambra, and Moustache Eau de Parfum, they're all very much in the same vein, which is this vanilla woods fragrance. Tuxedo, as I've said before about Kismet, is the perfect description for that DNA. It smells extremely classy. It doesn't punch you in the face though, so this is like, you're in a tuxedo, you're trying to be classy, you're not trying to offend anyone, but anyone that gets close to you is going to get this like kind of gently sweet, very woodsy vanilla. And the effect of it is just kind of this thing where you're like, it's calming. It's kind of like, and so it, like, for me, I have been wearing this DNA a lot. I've been pulling out Kismet and I've been spraying this, although it doesn't really look like it, but I have been wearing both of them a lot. They're very, very similar. So I think if you're in the market for a Tuxedo clone, go with whichever one is cheaper. I will say, I really like the presentation of Moustache. I think, you know, you see the pictures of it, and I don't think it does it justice. Like, it feels really good in the hand, heavy, weighty bottle, a very nice cap, a great atomizer. I don't know if I can see that, but it's just, it's such a great DNA. It's so addictive. It's so, like, you just want to keep smelling it over and over again. Vanilla and woods is such a great combo. It's like softly masculine. It just smells great. Like, it's just it's the kind of smell that, like, you're going to like feel nice and professional and clean and appealing in it. And like, for me, I would want to curl up into this if I was my wife. I don't think she will, but I like this one a lot. So, Moustache Eau de Parfum, not the original from 1949, but the new one. Eau de Parfum, such a great scent. So pick it up. A little redundant for my collection, but I don't mind in this case because I'm going to go through it. Next up, we have a recent thing that was a bit hyped because the original was super hyped. So I got the flanker for Al Haramain's Detour Noir. I got Eco, and this is their version of Haltane. And Haltane, I don't know what the order of these are, and I know that the companies involved don't like the comparison. I know that there's some relation between Initio and Parfums de Marly, but I don't know what it is. By the way, someone was watching my Latafa Bade Al Oud full line review and accused me of being like an industry plant or something like that. I sarcastically responded saying that they found me out and that I'm actually an Initio plant working to try and bring down Latafa. I'm not. I thought that sarcasm was clear, but then someone else in another comment was like, don't listen to this guy, he's an Initio employee. Guys, I wish I was an Initio employee. I am not. I have no connection to the fragrance industry, and all this stuff I bought, with one exception, which is the Azzaro's The Most Wanted Parfum, which started this whole thing off. But it's not like I've given Azzaro. I mean, I like the fragrances of theirs that I own. Anyway, so I'm paying my own money for these. So if I don't like something, it's because I spent my own money on it. But Detour Eco is actually what this one, Detour Eco is what this one is called. And this is, I think, better for me than the Oud for Glory, which is the clone of Oud for Greatness. So let me back up here. This is an oud scent, though I would say it's a Western oud scent. It's not going to give you the real oud, but Western oud for me tends to be a little bit more, well, so I'll put it this way. In Oud for Greatness and Oud for Glory, the oud for there is kind of rubbery to me. It comes across a little bit like a garden hose. I know that doesn't sound maybe that great, but it is kind of this appealing thing. Western oud typically comes across to me as smelling a little rubbery. That said, I know Haldane and Oud for Greatness are supposed to be somehow siblings or related. I think there's actually a meaningful difference between the two of them. And I think that's represented by Detour Eco, which I'll say I like substantially more than Oud for Glory. Oud for Glory is like a very nutmeggy version of Oud for Greatness. So you take that kind of rubbery, woodsy sort of oud base that they're doing, and then you put a little bit of spicy nutmeg on top of that. That's really what I get mostly from Oud for Glory. This, on the other hand, this feels a little bit more balanced to me. I feel like in Oud for Glory and Oud for Greatness, that kind of rubbery thing I'm talking about is a little overpowering. There's a little hard to get anything else out of there. This has a lot more going on. This smells, ironically, this smells more traditionally masculine, but I feel like there's more richness and there's more interesting things going on here. The spices, it doesn't stand out to me like so much as like a wholly unique or a wholly nutmeggy sort of fragrance. I find this to be a lot more wearable, not as powerful as Oud for Glory. I think that is like one of the most insanely strong fragrances that I own. It is not as strong as that. However, I like that. In this case, this tends to be more of just like a very spicy, woodsy fragrance. Not super sweet, kind of maybe even a little kind of petroleum-esque. It doesn't have that sort of violet note, gasoline smell, but there's something about this that comes across as industrial hard, you know what I mean? So when I smell this, this actually, I feel like the color of this bottle is actually really great, and I know that's the color of Haldane as well, but like kind of this color, this kind of dark green with like the gold, like that sort of metallic thing. Like, I think this is a great signature scent. I think if you're looking for like a good office scent, this is, I think, something that you could define yourself by. It's not, I will be honest, it's not my favorite DNA in the world, but it is one of those ones where I smell it and I bet I would like it the more that I wore it, which has been the case with it so far. Still not probably something that I would like wear every single day if I didn't have another, like a big collection. But I think occasionally I do enjoy it. This feels like a little bit more of a serious fragrance to me, a little bit more business, so not quite as fun, you know what I mean? So I tend to veer more towards the fragrances that I feel like are fun, but this feels like a very competent, well-made, well-balanced, just like the original Detour Noir, Detour, I keep saying Detour, like the original Detour Noir. Very good. I love the stupid bottle. As far as its closeness to Haldane, I do actually have a sample of Haldane. I did them side by side. It is very, very close. I think unless you are really, 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 really obsessed with Haldane, this will absolutely do the trick. So you could save yourself a substantial amount of money. And if I had the choice, I would take this over Oud for Glory any day of the week. Like I've said about Oud for Glory, Oud for Glory for me is like something that I occasionally like to smell. I can never wear it. It's just too strong and it's too kind of one-dimensional in that way that I was talking about. This, on the other hand, is not. There's quite a bit going on here, so I like this quite a bit more. All right, last up is actually one from, again, one of my favorite clone houses. I just seem to keep picking up really good clones from them, and that's Vibrant Vetiver Delight from Paris Corner, and this is their Emir line. This is a clone of, as the bottle might suggest, a clone of, why did I forget their name? This is a clone of Byredo's Bal d'Afrique. Bal d'Afrique is, I mean, this is just a great scent. I don't know if I would have called it Vibrant Vetiver Delight. I think Vetiver is not the star of this show. I feel like it was named that to maybe sell more of these to men, because I think this DNA is traditionally more targeted towards women. This is like a very, up at the top, very watery fruits, like fresh, clean, watery fruits, and there's this kind of floral thing going on underneath that. Then there's, at the very base, you got this musk. And so, for me, this is like a really kind of sweet, fresh, watery, fruity fragrance that kind of also comes across a little bit laundry-like. I think that musk in the base is doing that for me. But kind of when I smell this, it reminds me of like a basket of warm laundry. But then there are like these beautiful florals, and like I said, the watery citruses up top. All that together just makes this such a nice fragrance. This is one where you just spray it and you just kind of feel refreshed. It's clean, it's really appealing. A good spring and summer fragrance. Though, you know, in the fall and winter, like this is also kind of like a dumb reach for just a cozy day. It's not a warm fragrance. It is a very watery, fresh, clean fragrance, but the florals and the watery citruses are, there's just this great thing on top of it that kind of, it doesn't smell like laundry detergent, but if it did, it would smell like the best laundry detergent you've ever smelled. You know what I mean? Like, it has the vibe of a laundry basket without smelling like Tide. And I have really, I mean, it's a little bit obvious, you can't really tell in the camera, but I have been spraying this one a lot. I've had this for a couple months. I've just been wearing it over and over. I really like Byredo. I think Paris Corner does a great job of cripping their stuff, but this one itself, really beautiful. I will warn you, I think that does lean a little bit more feminine. I think it is unisex and anyone can wear it, but I think if you are a guy that traditionally feels like you need a man's man fragrance, this one might not be for you. I also feel like there's a chance that people smell this and like, what are you talking about? That's totally unisex or you know, whatever. But I don't know, for me, this is one of those ones where it's just like the elves walk past you and you get a smell of this. You know what I mean? Like this is what the elves, when they were walking towards the Westlands, this is what they were wearing. Anyway, so really big fan of that one. Really good stuff. All right, so there are my 5 recent pickups. I am a little bit of housekeeping. I'm working on trying to get everything together for a special 1,000 subscriber video and have a giveaway and all that stuff. I will admit I just moved recently and money's tight, so it's taking me a little time to get this because I'm not getting donations and I'm doing this with my own money, so and I don't want to get garbage. So I'm trying to get some decent stuff here for the giveaway. That will hopefully be sometime within the next month or two. I know it's not right around my 1,000 subscriber mark, just didn't work out with timing, but soon. But again, thank you so much. I am so appreciative of everyone that follows and watches me as I'm kind of learning about this. It's such a fascinating journey and I'm enjoying it so much, and I'm just so grateful that you're all here with me. But yeah, if you've got ideas for that 1,000 viewer special that I'm going to be doing, let me know. I will say I have already picked up a couple of fragrances for the 1,000 viewer special that I'm going to do. That one of them is, man, the name of it, I never get this right. It's Agua Brava. So I'm looking forward to smelling. I haven't smelled it yet, so I'm gonna save that for the video. But yeah, let me know if you've got other ones, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.